This show will have the stunning characters of one of the best and most known animes of all the times, Death Note. On this occasion, we have a guest, some of the cast members to talk us a little bit about themselves, the way they act, and the role in the anime. But first of all, let's start with a little introduction for the ones that haven't watched it. Light Yagami is a young student who one day finds a notebook called Death Note that has a macabre characteristic. If a person's name is written on it, they will die. Light decides then to embark on a mission to rid the world of all the criminals. However, he finds us angry when El, a brilliant detective, tries to unravel the mystery surrounding all of these deaths. I would like to introduce to the guests we have Kira, El, Ray Pember, Soichiro Yagami, and Ryuk here with us. First, I would like to ask Kira, why did you keep the dead dog?
Well, that's a pretty interesting question. Why I keep an object of total destruction? Well, I have a pretty peculiar sense of justice. A type of sense that no one will understand. And I think that I can be the god of this world.
Gosh, that's interesting, and now it makes more sense. I'd like to ask Rick, how did the Death Note end in the human world?
To tell the truth, I was really bored. So I decided to have a little fun and drop the death note. So basically, I just wanted to amuse myself. I really didn't know who would take the death note, and much less did I expect Light to be the one to take it.
So now, El, what was your thing before knowing about Kira?
My thing before Cuba was being the best detective in the world. I have to discover the most secrets, best saved in the world. So yeah, I was the best detective in the world before that.
What I know, El and Kira are like enemies. So I would like to ask Kira, were you sure that you were going to be able to find who El was?
Seriously? Are you asking that? Obviously, I'm going to find Kira, and when I find him, I will make him suffer like never before. I'm going to be the rock in his foot. I'm going to be his worst nightmare. He doesn't know who I am.
And following this problem, how did you find out that Kira was in Japan?
I found the location of Cuba very easy. I make a live stream first with a prisoner telling his name and showing his face. This was a live stream around all the world, but secretly it was just on Japan. So if he died, it's because the people who watched it was on Japan. So that's how I discovered.
I know that you guys have real names, El Lauliet for El and Light Yagami for Kira, but why do they call you like that, guys?
My real name is Lauliet, but I never say that. I call myself L, just the first letter of my name, just for security. And in this case, it helped me because it makes harder for Kira to kill me.
Kira, the name that everyone knows, was assigned by the people for me, and I was pretty interested in that. I watched it on my computer, and I think that's a pretty appropriate name for me. I'm thankful to the people that believe in the real God.
Now, a little bit more about Rick. We know that you have an obsession with a specific food. What is it?
For sure, apples. I love apples because they have a great flavor. And in the Shimigami world, they are usually rotten and have no taste nor color.
And the last question for you, Rick. Why did you find Light an interesting person?
I have to be honest with you. I just keep Light by my side because of the apples, basically. And I think Light is not that boring and useless as the other humans. He's quite interesting and he keeps me less bored.
Now, following with the people responsible for the case, Chiro Yagami and Remember, for Mr. Yagami, did you ever regret participating in Kira's case?
So, I think that it was a great challenge for me because I worked with many people who made me learn new abilities and also see other people's point of view while working. So it was actually really interesting working in this case.
Thanks for that amazing answer. Now, Mr. Pember, let's talk about your perspective of Kira's case. What did you feel about participating in Kira's case?
I feel very proud because of such a complex case. We didn't know how people were dying, and the people were dying anywhere, not just in Japan.
That's too fascinating. Thanks to the amazing abilities, you were able to know that Kira is a Japanese citizen. What was your reaction, Mr. Yagami?
I was astonished when they told me because I couldn't make my mind on thinking this criminal was in my country and also killing this amount of people. It was weird when everyone turned to look at me, like in the Interpol reunion, but I felt like I had a mission to do and wanted to do a careful and professional job, you know?
That must be absorbing. We already asked Mr. Yagami about how he felt in the case, but now we want to know your opinion, Mr. Pember. If you could go back to the past, what would you change?
I would try to erase my name and change it for another, and cover my face anywhere it was until the case was solved.
Now again, Mr. Pember, we already heard your perspective and feelings about the process of the case. So, we'd love to know about the ending. How do you feel about the case resolution?
I guess it is pretty much what was expected. We started working with L because of his high IQ, and we knew that he was going to solve the problem as a good detective as he has always been.
The last question is for Mr. Yagami. The FBI worked with L. What do you think of the idea of collaborating with him?
Okay, so I think that it was a great idea because he does an awesome job as an investigator and also finds the most hidden clues on any case that he investigates. However, we did sometimes have our differences, but it was a great pleasure to be working with him.
I need to be honest, I wasn't expecting that answer. Thankfully, this amazing interview with this amazing cast has come to an end. Thanks for being here and for letting us know more about Death Note. Thanks, see you again, same day, same hour.